Hello everyone, welcome to another lecture of electromagnetic field theory, and we are going to study chapter 4 from electromagnetic field theory by Height. And this is the chapter 4, energy and potential. So let's begin the today discussion. Energy expanded in moving a point charge in an electric field. Now let us try to find the energy required to move a charged particle. And as far as we are concerned, that we know that every body that applies the force, and with that result that the distance has been covered by any other object that is experiencing that force, we can calculate the work done by that person. Now, as by mathematical equation, the work done by any person is equal to the force applied and its product with that of the linear displacement that is being covered by that object which is experiencing the force. Now in this chapter we will try to find out the work done, or you can say that the energy consumed by moving a unit positive charge, uh, whether in the direction of the electric field or it is moving against the force of the electric field. So let's begin that from the basic definition of electric field intensity, which is defined as the force that is acted on a unit positive charge in an electric field. So we can write this equation by transforming it in term of the force, which is the force exerted on that charge in the electric field, which is equal to the product of charge and the electric field itself. Now, if we wish to move the electric charge against the electric field, then it requires us to exert the equivalent force to that of the electric field, but it will be in the opposite direction. Now, this means that the work has been done by us. Now, if we don't apply the force, or you may say that the charge is moving with the influence of that electric field, it means that the work has not been done by us in this step. Now suppose that we have a charge with value q, and we want to move it at a certain distance. Let's say that it's a small incremental distance d of l in the electric field E, and the force that is being exerted on it is given by this equation f of E, that's equal to the product of charge and the electric field from the basic definition of electric field intensity. Now, since the force is the vector quantity, and it is applied in the direction of that incremental distance, which is dl, so therefore we must also introduce a unit vector that will help us to specify the direction of that applied force as well. So therefore we just take the dot product with that applied force as the in the direction of that incremental distance as a unit vector al, and just we will plunge the values of the force which is equal to qe, and we get the final result of that force applied in electric field by applied by us in the direction of that incremental distance. Now, since we are applying the force which is in the opposite direction to that of the electric field, and since the force is a vector quantity, so we will also place the sign for illustration that the applied force is in the opposite direction to that of the electric field. So what will be the work, which is a form of energy? So by definition, as I told you, that the work is the equal to the product of the applied force and the distance covered by that object which is experiencing that force you are applying. So in this case, since our applied force is F applied, and the body is covering the incremental distance dl, so we can just plunge all the values into the final equation, that and it will become as f, that is equal to negative sign of q of e and the dot product of al, which is unit vector, and the incremental distance dl. Fine. Now you can see that since the applied force is also a vector quantity, and the incremental distance that is covered by that charge will also be having some direction as well, so it will be considered as the vector quantity, because al was responsible to tell the direction of the force that was being applied. So therefore we will transform our incremental distance as a vector quantity, which will be once again a dot product with that of the electric field intensity. So since this is an incremental distance, so the work done by that incremental distance will also be considered as the incremental work, now which can be formulated as incremental work dW, that's equal to the negative of q electric field intensity with the dot product of that incremental dl distance. Now since you have found the incremental work that is being done as a result of moving that charge that covered the incremental distance d of l, you can also calculate the overall work done by that charge from moving from one place, that is the initial point, to any other location that you desire, that is the final point, and integrate it over that area, over that either it can be any surface that can be cylindrical, spherical, or any along the plane. You can find the total work done in moving the charge from the initial point to that of the final point by integrating it over those points initial to the final, and electric field intensity that is being defined uh, and the dot product with that of the incremental distance, that distance can be in the form of a rectangular in the coordinate system. It can be either covered in the spherical coordinate system, or it can be in the cylindrical coordinate system. That depends on the nature of the given condition, and the work will be depending on it. Now let us try to solve the example in order to understand the concept of work, how it is being calculated. And according to this scenario, it says that given the electric field E, that's equal to 1 over z square into 8xyz in the direction of x, plus 4x square z in the direction of y, minus 4x square y in the direction of z volt per meter. You need to find the differential amount of work done in moving a 6 nanocoulomb charge at a distance of 2 micrometer, starting at the point 2, -2 and 3, these are the coordinates of the initial point, and proceeding in the direction of al, which is a unit vector being specified to us, 6 minus 6 by 7 in the direction of x, plus 3 or 7 by in the direction of the y, plus 2 by 7 in the direction of z. Now since we have been asked to find out the incremental work done, so that means we need to find out d of w, which is the incremental work. So now we know that from the equation as we have illustrated in the above, dw is equal to the minus q e dot dl. So we know the value of q, which is 6 nanocoulomb. We have been given e, that's been with the help of this function, and we have been asked to find out the dl in the direction of al. So we can transform our dl in that direction by taking the dot product with the given direction. So it says that if we need to find out the dl in that specific direction of the, that is al, we will multiply it by the dot product of the magnitude. The magnitude of the distance covered has been given to be 2, and we all have also been given the value of al. Just by plugging the values and taking the dot product, we get our desired incremental distance in the direction of minus 12 by 7, 6 by 7 and 4 by 7. Now we can put all these values into the in this equation to find out the value of incremental work done. That's equal to 6 nanocoulomb E, that's been given, dot dl. Now if you find out evaluate these values, you will get the final result. Now since you have been given the starting point to be 2, minus 2 and 3, after evaluating this step you will be placing the E at these points to get your final incremental work done. So that's the whole calculation that is being done to calculate the incremental work done by moving a charge is having 6 nanocoulomb value toward the desired position. So I hope that you understood it. Now in the next topic it says the line integral. That means that we need to find out the work done by moving the charge from this location of B toward the A. Now if that path was a straight or a linear path, it was supposed to be linear, then it was very easy to find out the initial from initial to the final the work done in moving the charge by just taking the difference between these 2 points. We can find out the our desired dl that is being covered, and we can easily plunge it into the our equation to find out the net work done by moving the charge from initial to the final, that is from B to A. Now in this figure it can be easily see that this path is not a linear, rather than it's just like representing like a snake style path. So there are many methods to calculate the overall work done by moving the charge from B to A. The first method is to make the small patches as you do in the and make them to be assumed as linear, and then take the sum of each and every patch. That means the work done in this patch plus this work done in this patch, and we do that till the last distance, that is del L6 till the last patch. So that is how the first method can help us to calculate the net work done. But one thing is to be kept in mind, that it is only possible to do the math if the electric field intensity is considered as uniform. It will be easier for us to calculate. However, if the function of the electric field intensity is not uniform, it is depending on some function, just as we have done in the previous example, then I think that it will not be easy for a student to take the impact of the incremental work in each of the path and find the sum. So here we can apply the application of the integral from the calculus to find out the function of the electric field that is being defined, and we can find out the overall the work done in that path. So let's see how it works. Now as we have seen the above figure, uh, where the path has been initiated from point B to the final point A, and we assume that the uniform electric field is distributed along that path with the 6 patches starting from del L1 to del L6, and we can easily find the work done in moving a charge from B to A by just summing the lengths of the patches and place them into this equation, which is W is equal to minus Q E dot L, that is the length of the path from B to A, assuming that the electric field is uniform, and this is the total work done by the charge that is moving from point B to A. Now, as this expression electric field intensity becomes dependent on the position, and now this relationship no longer becomes useful. Now, in that case, you need to evaluate the work done by moving the charge from B to A with the complex function of the electric field intensity and along with the length of each part. Now, the difference has come due to the fact that electric field is changing with respect to each path. It's not uniform. So you cannot apply the summation of all the lengths and taking the electric field intensity which is uniform to be as a common factor and evaluate it for the total work. So here we will use the expression of the integral where we will integrate this electric field intensity over the entire region, and will be able to find out the total work done in moving the charge from the position of initial, which is B, to the final, which is A. We can also use the integral equation for the uniform distribution of this electric field intensity. If it is uniform, we will just take it as a common factor outside this integral, and we will integrate the entire region for the displacement of all these patches from the B to A. Now, if this d of L, which is the which will tell us the total distance or the incremental distance taken by this charge, if it is in the rectangular coordinate system or the Cartesian coordinate system, it will be simply defined by the d of x in the direction of x plus the d of y in the direction of y and d of z in the direction of z. And if it is in the cylindrical coordinate system, if the charge is being placed in the cylindrical coordinate system, suppose that if it is the charge that is traveling through a cylindrical wire, or there are some gases which are being transferred from through the cylindrical pipes. Now here you will be applying the cylindrical transformation of this incremental distance, which is in the vector form, in the direction of rho, phi and z, as the following equation. And if it is spherical, you will be transforming this length of the Cartesian into the spherical coordinate system by as being illustrated in our previous lecture, which was chapter 1. You can also have a review from this from that lecture as well. Okay, now let's try to solve an example where we have been given the non-uniform electric field, which is equal to the y in the direction of x plus x in the direction of y plus 2az. Now you can easily look at it that a totally non-uniform function of the electric field intensity, and we have been asked to determine the work expended in carrying two column from this position, which is initial B101, to the final position, which is our destination in A in the coordinate system point 8, point 6 and 1 along the shorter arc of the circle that is being defined by x square plus y square is equal to 1. That means that radius of this circle is 1, and that cuts at the z is equal to 1. Now let's try to use this equation and find out the total work done. Now the work function, total work done, is equal to the negative of the charge, the integral from B to A, and the dot product of electric field intensity in the given direction. Now this d of L has been defined in the Cartesian coordinate system. So we will just plug the values of dx in the direction x, dy in the direction of y, plus dc in the direction of z. And the electric field has been defined by this function y, x and 2 in the direction of x, y and z. Now, when we take the dot product, ax will be 1, ay will be 1, and az will be 1. What we get in from the initial positions of the integral as well, y in the direction of x, and the limits of x have been from 1 to 0.8, and x in the direction of y, the limits of y have been taken from 0 to 0.6, and there is no z function, and it's in the direction of dz, that is defined from 1 to 1. And minus 2 is the 2 coulomb charge that is being traveling from the location of B to A. So we can complete our work by solving these integrals and get our desired work done. So since in the equation it says that the electric field intensity is been taken along the shorter arc of the circle, so we can easily transform y in terms of the x and x in terms of y according to desired condition. By doing that, y is equal to 1 minus x square the whole square root in the direction of dx, which is being now satisfied, and x, since it is in the direction of y, we can transform from the above given area of the circle x into y, that's equal to 1 minus y square whole under root. And since there is no function over here, we will take 1, and in doing so, since the limits of starting and ending are same, so that after solving the integral, this part will become 0. Okay, so what happens next? We just plunge down the values to solve this for the total work. The integration of 1 minus x square whole under root is actually equal to x into under root 1 minus x square, the sine inverse of x. It's the integral evaluation. You can easily find it from the lookup table of the calculus, where all the integration has been solved. And similarly, 1 minus y square whole under root, by integrating it we get minus y into 1 minus y square whole under root plus sine inverse of y. Since these both are the same, only the difference is the x and y, so you can easily see that these are having the same functions but with different variables, and the limits are from 1 to 0.8 for the x region, and for y it's 0.00 to 0.6. By plunging all these values, we get 0.96 joule, which is the work done in moving the charge in the non-uniform electric field from location B to A. We can also define the electric field intensity in an infinite line. It had been given by the function of E, that's equal to E rho in the direction of the rho as well, and rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon naught rho in the direction of rho L. You can easily see that if there is a charge that is being traveling in the infinite line, and there is some field around that charge in the circular path, you can easily use the cylindrical coordinate system to transform it dl in the direction of rho, that's rho 1 is equal to d phi in a phi. Now from the work equation, that actually states that that W, that's equal to minus Q integration of the electric field intensity along the line in the direction of rho and the d of L, since it's considering the cylindrical path, so that means the field is surrounding the charge in the circular path, so this means that d rho and dz will be considered as 0, whereas the circular path that's surrounded by the electric field will only exist at that point. So therefore the electric field intensity on the line by this function, defined by this function, and dl will be rho 1 d phi and rho phi, and the a phi which is the unit vector. Now since this a rho dot a phi are actually perpendicular, so their product will dot product will be 0. However, if we assume that we need to find out the work done by that charge that's passing through a cylindrical pipe and surrounded by the electric field intensity, so we just integrated from 0 to pi, which is the overall area of this circle, and by doing that we will obtain overall work done in that closed path will be 0. That is also true by definition. Now consider this figure where we wish to move the charge in the radial path from A to B instead of moving along the straight line. So let's try to build a generic formula or formulation that will help us to find out the work done if we move the charge in the radial path. Now since we know that this is our desired equation, the generic form to evaluate the work done by that charge moving in the straight line in the electric field intensity. Since it is moving now in the direction of the radii, that means that a rho dot d phi and a rho instead of a phi, because at the previous case we considered that the charge is moving to be in the circular path, but now since it is moving along the around the in the direction of rho, so therefore we will define the dl to be d phi d rho in the direction of a rho. Now the dot product of a rho and the a rho will be 1, as these are the same and they are parallel. So initiating from the location of A to B, we can modify our complete form to be rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon and rho in the direction incremental distance of d rho, which is the distance traveled by the charge in the along the radial side, the radial path. So finally, by taking the integration, solving it for our desired amount of the work to be evaluated, we obtain the minus q rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon natural log of b over a. Now if you want to remove this negative sign, you just invert this natural log, that is natural log of a over b will give you the minus, so this minus will be can also be transformed as a positive work done. Now with the help of our definitions of the work done, we can also define the potential and the potential difference. From the basic definition of the work, we can transform it to obtain the potential difference as the work done in moving a unit positive charge from point A to B. That means that W over Q will be equal to the potential difference in moving the charge from the initial to the final point, and the rest of this equation will be as the same, minus integral of the initial to the final electric field intensity dot T of L. The role of these functions are same as being discussed above. So we can also define the potential difference between the 2 points VAB, that is equal to VB minus VA, which is finally equal to the minus integration of the from B to A E dot dl, that's unit in the volts. Now similarly we can also define the potential difference in the uh, with the presence of the electric field intensity along the infinite line by just dividing the work with that charge. That means the work done in the electric field intensity along the infinite line over the unit positive charge, that's equal to the rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon natural log of d over a. In the same way, we can also define the electric field intensity for the radial paths that are at the distance of the RA and RB. We can easily write it as the follows way. That E is equal to the Q over 4 pi epsilon or R square in the direction of unit vector AR. That is the basic definition of the electric field intensity. And if we have been specified the radius within the cylinder by integrating it from the initial point R of B to the final point R of A for the given value of the charge, we can easily find out the potential difference exist within that specified region inside the uh, cylindrical pipe, cylindrical wire, or any cylindrical surface. So this was the whole today's discussion regarding the electric field intensity and to use it to calculate the work done in any of the three different surfaces, including the Cartesian plane, including the cylindrical surface or the spherical surface. By just keeping the basic principles of their transformation, we can find the work as well as the potential difference in any of the given plane structure. So I hope so that you have understood the basic concepts, and I will say that you should, if you have any question, you should comment below. And thanks for watching this discussion.